What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Faith and I'm an online fashion reseller selling on Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari. Today's video, I'm going to be walking through my April sales. I'm going to share my highest profit sales, sales that flipped the quickest, and also my worst sales and the takeaways from the month and what I'm going to be doing moving forward for next month. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe so you never miss any reselling content with me. Alright, let's get into the video. Okay, so for the last couple of what sold videos, I've walked you through which percentage of my sales came from which platform. So for this month, 73% of my sales came from Poshmark. Poshmark is always the platform that has most of my sales. However, that definitely does fluctuate. For example, last month, only 48% of my sales came from Poshmark and the rest came from eBay and Mercari. So that's why cross-listing is so critical for your business. You want to diversify your income so that if one platform, your main platform, doesn't perform as well as it normally does one month, you have another platform to pick up the pace for you and make up those sales for that month. So I think cross-listing is like a must-do for every reseller. I use Vendoo to help me cross-list and I 100% recommend it. It is totally worth the money. I wish I would have done it sooner. I do have a link in the description down below. If you want to sign up with my link, you get 25% off of your first month. So definitely check that out. Okay, so this month I want to go over some of the sales data that I track on a monthly basis. I think all of these metrics are extremely important for you to track in your reselling business, and it's really how you're going to reach not only your sales goals. Gross revenue is great in that, you know, it's a fluff number, it's a vanity metric, but your profit is really what you want to be seeing grow throughout time. So I'll insert a chart of all of my sales data that I track. So first of all, you can see my average margin is around 50%. That is pretty much where I want to be at, is 50%. If I'm above that, then that is even better. Most important, what I want to talk about is my average profit per item. I am trying to increase that as high as I possibly can because my time is valuable and I want to make sure that I'm picking up inventory that is worth my time. So you can see at the beginning of this year, my average profit per item was $22.89, and I have grown that number to be $30.94 this month. I definitely want to continue to see that grow, and you can do this one or two ways. You can pay a little bit more for inventory. That's going to give you a higher average sales price, or you can try to lower your cost of goods. My personal business model and what I'm trying to achieve is I'm going to go the route of raising my average sales price, and I'm okay with paying a little bit more for my inventory. So you can see that I also track my average sales price. I started I'll talk about January in a second, but you can see it's grown throughout this year to be $58.75. I'm so happy with that. I'd love to continue to see that grow. And you can also see that reflects in my average cost of goods. I am paying a little bit more, but in order to see if you're achieving that correctly is your average profit per item. You can see that in January, my margins were only 43%. That's not good. My average sales price was $53, which was great, but I was paying $17 per item, which was too much. So my average profit was only $22.89, which I don't love. So you can see that I was paying up more for inventory, but I wasn't picking up the right stuff that was going to sell for the sales price that I needed in order to hit my margins and my average profit per item. So that's just some of the things that I really try to track to help me reach my sales and profit goals every single month, and I think that it's so important for you to do so as well. Okay, going into the rest of the video, I'm going to share next my best sales by profit. Again, I don't really care about how much it sold for. I care about how much I'm actually making. So number one is this new with tags Xrina. Honestly, I have no idea how to say that. If you know, please comment it down below. It was a caftan dress. I sold this on eBay for $150 and it took 57 days to sell. I picked this up at Goodwill. I paid $15 for it, so I made a profit of $108 on this one dress. That makes me so happy. That's what I'm striving for in all of my sales, because my time is worth a lot of money in my book. So I want to make sure that I am spending my time wisely, because there is a lot of work that goes into selling an item. You have to steam it, photograph, list, share your closet, do customer service, send offers, and then ship your item. So I want to make sure that I'm making out enough money to make all of that worth my time. Number 2 is this Alexis lace dress. I shared this in my online sourcing haul video. This sold on Poshmark for $175 and it took 68 days to sell. I sourced this on ThreadUp and I paid $42 for it, which is pretty high, but I made a profit of $98. Number 3 is this Veronica Beard eyelet dress. I sold this on Poshmark for $140 and it took 30 days to sell. I sourced this from the RealReal and I paid $23 for it and made a profit of $90. So my median sales days to sell, as you can tell, are pretty high. My average median sales days is 131 days. So I am not in the quick flipping business game. I'm definitely okay with not a slow nickel. I'm definitely okay with the slow dime as opposed to the fast nickel game. I'm definitely okay with waiting a little bit more for an item to sell to make more profit, instead of just doing quicker flips for lower profit and doing volume. Number 4 is another one of these Xrina dresses. I picked this up in the exact same sourcing trip. I found like a whole lot of this brand of like dresses and shirts and stuff, and that was when I learned how much of a bolo this brand is. Definitely remember this brand because it has sold super well for me. I sold this on eBay for $100 and it took 59 days to sell. I picked this up at Goodwill for $15, so I made a profit of $66. Next up is this New with Tags Ula Johnson embroidered dress. So I sourced this from the RealReal, and it wasn't listed as New with Tags, but I saw in the pictures that it was New with Tags. So I did pick this up from the RealReal. It sold on eBay for $155 and it took 76 days to sell. I paid $62 for this on the RealReal, so I definitely paid up for this dress, but I made a profit of $64 for it. And lastly is this Frank and Eileen button-down like shirt dress. Frank and Eileen is another one that I found. It was like a corporate donation at Goodwill, and I picked up every single one of them, and they are already almost sold. So Frank and Eileen, definitely a bolo. I sold most of them on eBay, but I did sell this one on Poshmark for $80, and it took 51 days to sell. Like I said, I sourced this from Goodwill and I paid $10 for it, and I made a profit of $52 on it. Okay, moving into my next category, I'm going to share my quickest flippin' items. So number 1 is this Reformation purple mini dress. I sold this on Poshmark for $77 the same day that it listed, and it did actually have a little bit of a stain on it, so I was super happy to accept $77 for it. I picked this up from Goodwill and I paid $9 for it. Great find. I made a profit of $50 on this dress. Next up is this. It was a bundle sale of the same exact set. It was this Free People loungewear matching set. I found this at TJ Maxx, and I did pay $40 for each of them, but I knew, and they weren't even on clearance, I paid full price for them, but I knew that matching sets like this, loungewear matching sets from Free People, and they were New with Tags, I knew for sure that this was a good buy. The same woman purchased both of them, so the combined sale was $160, and they sold the next day after I listed it. Like I said, I sourced them from TJ Maxx, so my cost of goods was $80, and I made a profit of $48. So my margins were not great on that, but I still made a profit of $48, and I would rather have lower margins and make $48 on something than have an 80% profit margin and only make $15 on something. So I'm definitely more paying attention to my gross profit per item as opposed to my profit margin. I really don't care as much about my profit margin. Okay, number 3 are these Chaco sandals. I sold these on Poshmark for $45, and they sold one day after listing. I sourced these from Goodwill for $10, and I sold them for $45. I probably could have held out maybe for like $5 or $10 more, but I was okay with, I made a profit of $26. I was okay with that, so I did accept that offer. Okay, moving on to my worst sales of the month. I will say though, I don't want to offend anyone by calling them my worst sales. These are just worst sales for me and my business model and what I'm personally trying to achieve and like the direction I'm going with my business. For some people, this is like what they do on a daily basis, and all of their sales look like this because they are flipping more items than I am. So these are just bad sales compared to what I'm trying to achieve. Maybe these are great sales for you. So I'm not trying to put anyone down by sharing these. Number one, I mean, this is bad sale for anyone, so are these Treasure and Bond sandals. So I got these from a liquidation box. The liquidation box was not good. All of them are oversaturated, and my average cost of good on it was $16.56. Not good. Okay, I'll just start with that. So I sold these on Poshmark for $30. They took 36 days to sell. Like I said, my cost of goods on them was $16.56, so I only made $7.44. First of all, Treasure and Bond, they have like cute stuff, I guess, but their retail price isn't a lot and resale value is not very good. And also it was super oversaturated. So I was just happy to get an offer and to kind of get my money back on the liquidation box that I bought. So not great. I honestly do not love liquidation. I love the fact I don't like it, but yet I want to do it more. I know it's kind of crazy, but I just need to find the right company, I think. I just have not found the right fit for me yet, but I want so badly to be able to buy a liquidation box, have it be delivered to my door, and not have to go out and source everything and have it be like, it doesn't need to be like everything needs to be amazing, but just be like decent and double my money, and I have not found that yet. So fingers crossed, I'm still searching for that company. But anyways, so this next sale is a Zara polka dot tank top. I learned a valuable lesson with this. I picked this up because it's super cute, right? And let me just share the numbers. So it sold on Mercari for $19 and it took 31 days to sell. I picked it up from Goodwill for $3 because I thought it was cute, so I made a profit of $9.40. What I have learned, and something that it kind of slapped me in the face when I heard El Ducho share this, the one thing that she said has really propelled her business is not picking up things based off of them just being cute. You should pick up things because they're cute and also profitable. Having the item be profitable is the most important thing. And for this, I knew I could have sold it because it was cute, but I also knew that my profit wasn't going to be great, and I wish I wouldn't have wasted my time on that. Even though I did make money on it, it was not worth my time. So that was a very valuable lesson that I learned, is don't pick up things just because they're cute. They need to be cute and profitable. All right, next up is this For Love and Lemons floral romper. I was so happy to see this go. I sold on Poshmark for $33, but I had it listed for 251 days. Oh my gosh, I get more excited when stuff like this sells as opposed to my quick flips. It felt so good to get this out of my house. So I sourced this from a buy-sell trade store. This is like one of the first items that I sourced at a buy-sell trade store when I first started reselling, and it definitely was oversaturated, which I think was the problem. It gets cute and it's For Love of Lemons, so it all kind of seemed good in theory, but I don't know, it just didn't move. I think if I remember correctly, I think it might have been oversaturated. I paid $14 for it, and so I made a profit of $9.94. All right, next up is this new Tags Shade and Shore bikini top. That's hard to say. I sold this on Poshmark for $15 and it took 36 days to sell. I sourced this from the bins, so I paid $1.92 for it and I made a profit of $10. Another thing where I picked it up and I knew it would sell and I only paid $1.94 for it, but it was not worth my time. I need to stop mixing together my business models and picking up things just because they're cute. Like I said, it has to be profitable and cute, and it doesn't matter how cheap it is. It just didn't align with my goals. And last but not least is this Madewell dress that I had for ages. It sold on Poshmark for $30 and it was listed for 243 days. I sourced it from Goodwill for $11.50 and I made a profit of $12.50. I definitely have I won't say I stopped picking up Madewell, but like I pass on 90% of the Madewell that I find. It's just oversaturated, and I feel like the price has definitely tanked on the reseller market. It was one of my bread and butter brands for a while, but I've noticed it just declining a little bit, so I'm a lot more cautious with Madewell. Okay, so now my takeaways for the month. So I definitely, as you can tell by my most profitable sales this month, a lot of them came from online sourcing from The RealReal and from ThreadUp. So that's something that I'm definitely going to continue to do, not only because it saves me a lot of time and it's a lot more efficient, but I also have access to higher end brands that I might not be able to find at a thrift store. When you go thrifting, you're kind of at the mercy of the thrift gods blessing you with a great trip. But when you're online sourcing, you can really take control of your time and really source for brands that you might not find in your area or just find on that given day and moment of time when you enter the thrift store. So that's something that I'm definitely going to continue to do more this coming month. I also mentioned in my last What Sold video that I have been using Flip. Here are my thoughts on Flip after doing it for the past month. I have no problem with the sellers. I have no problem with the app. I think it's great. However, I think the sellers are realizing that they need to up their commission, and I don't blame them. I would do the same thing. But I got matched at the beginning with some sellers who were only taking 30 or 40%, but now most of the sellers that I get matched with are taking 50%, which I cannot blame them. I would, again, do the same thing. But that kind of changes the game for me as someone who is partnering with them. It's not as profitable as I would necessarily like. The other problem with it is that they're selling on all the same platforms that I'm selling on. So I know that if I can't sell something, they, based off of like the brand or style or whatever, they're not going to be able to do any different than me. We're still working with the same platforms. And it's so different than with something like The RealReal or ThreadUp when you have a completely different customer base and it's just a completely different ball game. That's why I loved ThreadUp so much before everything went downhill. You just had access to something totally different where you could really split up your inventory to like what would do best over here and what would do best over there. But with Flip, it's all the same thing. So I am still going to continue to send things in when I get them, but I don't think I'm going to make it as much of a priority as I originally thought. But I have nothing negative to say about the experience or the platform or anything, so you should definitely try it out. The things that I'm sending into them are just things that don't bring me joy, honestly, that I know are going to sit around in a pile of stuff that I'm not listing, and that I can make a good margin on. Maybe some of the items that I mentioned were like my worst sales, stuff that I don't feel like was worth my time, but I knew I could get for cheap, and I didn't feel like listing myself because the profit wouldn't be, you know, what I want per item. So that's kind of what I would send into Flip, but like I said, I'm going to kind of pump the brakes on it a little bit. Lastly, I want to share that I am starting to send things into Amazon FBA. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, is getting onto Amazon. I think Amazon is where there's so much money to be had on Amazon, and in the future I could see it becoming my primary source of income. I just sent my first shipment in, okay, so I'm so far away from that happening, but I really see the potential for that. And I love that you can source replenishable items. All you need to do is find one item and you can buy like 10 of it and then send it to Amazon and they do all the work. So that's something that is really appealing to me, especially considering I have no space in my current apartment. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be working on in the next coming months. If you guys want to hear more updates or want me to do like a video on my experience, I won't be making like tutorial videos because I am like literally the brand spanking new. I have no tips to share, but if you want to hear more like in the future, I definitely will share my Amazon experience. Alright, that is it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something. If you have any questions for me, definitely leave them down in the comments down below and I will definitely answer them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!